What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel in another video. Today we're going to be doing a very easy to do open cup with a very limited color palette. We're only really using blue, but we're adding white and black. And it is going to be a floating open cup. All I did was cut the end of a cup off, and that's going to be our open cup. So if you don't have cookie cutters, you can do that too. How's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are all doing great. It is a glorious day in Phoenix. Okay, so all these colors are mixed, 2 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint. And in these colors, there are 1 drop of the OGX hair serum in it, as we want to try to create a couple cells. Now this is the black that, I have 2 different blacks. One has no silicone that I was using as the base coat, and then this has a little tiny bit. And it's black, so we're not going to use very much of it. I just want it to cut down on some of the darkness. You don't want to have too much dark. I like these kind of open cups because once it reaches a point where the paint can't sit in there anymore, it starts to bubble out, and it's pretty cool. It'll start to just push its way out from under the rim of the cup. It's already doing it. It's just the paint is underneath that black layer right now. You might be able to see that very subtle ring of like a light gray. So you can also pour it from a little higher. It lets it churn, create some different colors. Like if you let that blue churn through the white, or vice versa, it's going to lighten up that blue. Or if you let it churn through the black, it will introduce some darker tones. Like right now, you can probably see pretty well there are bands of color underneath. We're not going to expose those yet, though. Soon we will. There's our first cell. Our first little cell coming to the surface. Well, that's a pretty little cell. I think, yeah, I'm going to warm it up. We're going to see what kind of cells we can get. Yeah, we got our first little cell. That's awesome. Ooh. A little bit of heat. And it starts to pop some of the bubbles, but then some of it is oil being pulled up through the bottom and just coming through those layers. That's kind of nifty. I do like that. Yeah, that's going to look pretty cool when it's done. I like the dark. The dark is really cool. Now, I'm noticing a lot of dark in there, so I'm thinking a lot of that's going to clear itself up. But always with an open cup too, one of the things that I do is, as I know I'm reaching the end, I'll make my layers thinner and thinner and thinner. That way I don't have any huge bands of color, because that would just make it look strange. Tiny bit of black and a little spot of blue, and that's gonna be all we need. That's so cool looking. It's like an iris. I like that a lot. Right. Let's warm it up. Hope some of those cells do what they're gonna do. I don't particularly like that little ring there, so normally with my open cups I'll break that surface tension like you just saw, and then I just gently swipe over those lines. And that's that. And then we have a nice little swirl going on. And I want to center this better than it is. Nice. All right, now to stop some of this from rolling under. Right now, I do have enough paint on the surface, I could just spin it. I would have to spin it harder than I want to, just to get it to cover these parts I'm putting the paint on. So that's why I'm just adding a little to it, giving it a little help. All right, one last time, let's see what kind of cells we can bring to the surface. I do prefer the heat gun for this kind of stuff because it is easier to control. There we go. The torch kind of just poof, cells everywhere. But the heat gun, I can kind of slowly put the cells and help certain areas react. Let me make sure, because generally I want that to be in the like center. Okay. All right, here we go. Right now it's just a super light spin, very light, just to see where we're at. Oh wow. Yes, sir. That's pretty. We just got to get some of these areas that are being stubborn, which should be easy because we just thinned out the layers. So now you can see the cells are finding a much easier time kind of pushing through. And the more you thin it out, the easier the cells are going to have trying to push to the surface. So yeah, this actually came out really cool for it just being a essentially one color. Now there is a lot of paint on the surface. I can't leave it all on there or we will possibly crack and craze. So I'm going to do one more light spin. Get off a little bit of that excess, just a little bit. So that pushed some of the darker off, which made it lighter, which I like. One last time with the heat gun, catch any little bubbles that might have avoided us all this time. Kind of plant some cells in certain areas. And hopefully they'll grow, you know? Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to take the torch to this section. I want to see if we can bring cells out over there. Well, that happened. I don't want to go too much more on that section. If I do, I'm kind of risking it. All right. Yeah, a bunch of cells did pop up through there. All right. Well, let me bring you guys down. I want you to see this thing because I'm happy with it. I like it. So I moved it off to the side so it can dry, and I have a vent on one side of the room that I don't want to put it at. So this is the wet version of it. You can see those tiny little cells that popped up in there. Some of them are really irregular looking. Strange. But I like it. It's very pretty. If you want to watch another video just like this, click the screen right now and I'll see you there.